All eyes on Doge. Big runner. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big runner. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.69. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on Black Monday. No, not Ugly Monday. That's what I used this morning. Use the word ugly. I just couldn't get myself to say Black Monday. As I showed in this morning's video, today was nothing like 1987, the day officially known as Black Monday in the stock market. And as you can see by how it traded, obviously not. And it's not because Jim Cramer said on Friday we were going to have a Black Monday and the anti-Cramer thing. As we talked about over the weekend and especially Sunday night, I expected big volatility in the morning, but in the end, it was going to be a nothing burger when it came to prices because they'd get to a level and settle. And that's what we're seeing right now. So we did have volatility this morning. We'll get into it. I'll show you the trades that I made. I told you on the Sunday live stream, I was going to make a trade. And then this morning, before the market even opened, the stock market, I told you what I was going to trade. And then I traded it and I executed it and I made money on it. Yes, making money on a red day. Because you can do that. If, eliminate your risk, just take a look at what's going on and you can make money on a red day. So I did that. I'll show you what I did, tell you what I was thinking, and then we're going to get into what's going on with tariffs now because it's tariff. Yes, a lot going on. But I mean, the big thing though is, and as I've been saying, this is fear and uncertainty in the markets that have been driving these prices down. It's not because of anything actually happening, which is the huge difference between what's going on now and what was going on back in 1987. That's the biggest difference. Now, if we already had huge prices, right, because of tariffs, right, and we had huge recession and we had unemployment and all of that, then I would get it. I'd be like, okay, this is what's happening. But no, this has all been because of the fear of rising unemployment, the fear of inflation coming back, right? And that hasn't happened. So again, it's the division between the left and the right, the left media all screaming and yelling, Orange Man bad, Elon's bad, ruining the economy and all of that. And actually the numbers aren't bad. I mean, it's just like, the numbers aren't bad. So I'm sticking with my conviction. I'm trading and I'm buying still. I'm not like leaving the market. No, I'm continuing to build and I will continue to build over the summer. I think fall is when the market really takes off again. I've been consistent about that for months. That's what I've been saying. I'm still on that trajectory. Come along for the ride if you want, or you can be a bear and you can argue with me. I just want to hear, if you're a bear, tell me why. Tell me what your thinking is, not just Doge going to drop to 10 cents. That's a dumb comment. Tell me why. Why do you think that? That's what I want to hear. And only like one or two bears out of the hundreds that we've had have actually said why they think something's going to happen. And I'll have that conversation with you. So this is where we start. Look, Trump posted this. Oil prices are down. That is true. Interest rates are down. Slow-moving Fed should cut rates. Also true. Food prices are down. That is true. We have not had big spike in food costs yet. The tariffs are just coming into play now. There is no inflation. Well, that's not entirely true, right? We still have like 2 to 3% inflation. That's just normal. We don't have over the normal inflation. The long-time abused USA is bringing in billions of dollars a week from the abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. This is despite the fact the biggest abuser of them all, China, whose markets are crashing. Not quite sure about the China markets crashing yet. The CCP takes care of it. They do okay. They raise tariffs, blah, 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 not acknowledging my warning for abusing countries not to retaliate. They've made enough for decades, taking advantage of the good old USA. Our past leaders are to blame, blah, 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 blah. Let's make America great again. That's the main thing. But it's true. It's like you look at the data right now of what's happening, and this is not drinking Kool-Aid, Sonic Case. This is true. Oil prices are down. Interest rates are down. Food prices generally down. No inflation. Well, no inflation above the normal year to year, 2%. We had that last year under Biden. We had 8%. We don't have that now. So that's all true. And then, according to Scott Besson, who just said over 50 countries have responded to Trump about the tariffs. They want to talk. They want to have the meetings. They want to make a deal. That was the idea, was making the deal. Polymarket traders expect tariffs to be decreased by June. Trump is leveling out the playing field. The market is overreacting. That's what markets do, though, don't they? They like to overreact. And we certainly had that this morning. And again, I'll show you the trade that I made because I called it and I traded it. I'll just do that now before I get into the next thing. What did I do this morning? Well, you see the green circle on the Doge chart, which means I bought more Doge. I did not buy Doge in the 13s because I was busy doing something else. And what was that something else? That was Robinhood. I told you I was going to trade Robinhood last night, this morning, before the market opened. I told you what was going to happen, and it happened. Exactly happened. This is a 5-minute chart here. This is what I typically trade on, is a 5-minute chart. Pre-market. Now let's see. Let's start here. Robinhood ended the day on Friday at about 34.50. We'll get to the Minecraft movie. We ended the day at 34.50. Generally, Robinhood was trading between $30, $31 pre-market, and it opened at 9:30 right at 31.60. Went up a little bit, and then it dumped. And that's what I was waiting for. In the middle of the night, on the overnight trading, generally around $29.80 is what I saw. And I was like, if I can get $29 Robinhood, I'm buying. That's how I'm thinking about it, right? Because that's what I saw on the overnight trading at the bottom, like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then all of a sudden that candle turned red and it dropped and it dropped and it dropped and it dropped and it dropped. Got below $30. I got my trade ready. Again, trading on Robinhood. I'm using a market order because, again, I don't know what the price moves very fast. Right at the opening, a lot of volatility, a lot of volume. And again, this goes to my stock swing trading that I did long before I was in crypto. This is what I was doing. And I do it every once in a while now when a setup is just golden. And this morning's was golden. And I bought 2,100 shares of Robinhood. And what was the exact price here? What was my exact price? Because that was a good trade. My hood. I just want to get it right because people tell me, "Whoa, Kriss, you got to show your details, right?" I don't believe you. I bought 2,100 shares at $29.78. $29.78, which is, oh, it's right on the bottom of this. I almost got the exact bottom. The $29.78 right there. It then traded up to about $31.74, and then it dumped all the way back down to 30.24. And I was like, okay, I now see where the top is going to be. Traded back up, and I sold at 31.48. And you're like, Kriss, why did you sell? Again, this was a $3,500 profit. I didn't know what the market was going to do at this point. It had already dipped, come up, and dipped again. I didn't know it was going to go higher like this. And why did it go higher on this, like this? There was some fake news report that Trump was going to suspend tariffs for 90 days that somebody put out. And CNBC picked it up, and then Reuters picked it up from CNBC, and all the markets went up. That shouldn't have happened. But again, when I do the swing trades, I look at percentage gains. I look at a bracket. If it trades out of it, it trades out of it. That's okay. I executed. I made $3,500 in like 15 minutes. It was like 15 minutes. I took the profit because you don't know what's going to happen. Now, I could have made $8,000 or $10,000 if I'd stayed in the trade and it moved up. We didn't know that was going to happen, though. That was the uncertainty of today. And that a lot of that was an overhyped trading based on a fake news story. So, but what I did at that time instead, though, was I then bought Doge, which is why I didn't buy Doge earlier. I bought it there, exited my hood trade, and I bought Dogecoin because I saw Dogecoin started to go up too, and I was like, now I am confirming the trend. I was confirming the turnaround. And so I bought Dogecoin. Not too bad. And then also the other trade I made, which I was getting ready to make, was Megal. And I've told you guys about swing trading Megal. And here's my Megal trade right there. I bought Megal at $1.29. Again, it was up at $1.36. It had come down to $1.32. I caught it on the way down at $1.29. Again, it's really hard to buy this with a limit order because there's not a lot of volume here, but it did hit. Now it's sitting at like $1.27. But I got it. I wanted to get it below $1.40. I was shooting for $1.35. It went down lower to like $1.30. I set a limit order, $1.29, and it hit. So now I am in Megal again for a swing trade, and it'll come back up here to $1.50, and I'll sell, and I'll successfully do that swing trade. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it works out. This is what I posted this morning, though, because in Doge overnight, Doge did break below 13 cents on Robinhood. It hit like 12.98, 12.97 on Robinhood. Binance, it didn't quite break below 13. But that is support being broken right there. That broke support. And we'll look at that when I zoom out. Support broken. But it wasn't just Doge. Again, for all you saying, oh, Doge is dead. No, it wasn't just Doge. We had massive support breaks. Ethereum, Solana, XRP, a whole lot of others. Looked like ADA held its support. It's one of the few. Tron, of course, hasn't been dipping, which of course has led to this. Well, Tron had flipped Dogecoin, but then Dogecoin flipped back ahead of Tron. It's pretty close now. They're within like $130 million of each other. Tron had flipped Dogecoin briefly. So that's what's going on overall in the markets. Now, about predictions. And this is just what I want to say about predictions, right? We're all looking at charts, right? We're looking at trading. We're looking at what's going on. You do the best you can. You make a plan. And you guys who've been around watching me for a while know that I had a big plan for this 4-year cycle. And that was investing heavily in crypto, mostly crypto, some stocks, taking profits and buying a house. That was my number one goal. And so when I executed that goal, I did have to sell some crypto. In fact, most of my crypto I sold, most of it in January, a big chunk February 1st. When it was clear to me that the tariff thing was real, just 10 days into the Trump presidency, the tariff thing was real. I posted it. I sold a lot of my crypto, took profits because I had an offer in on the house. The offer was accepted. I only had about 2-3 more weeks before closing, and I didn't want to lose that balance that I had at that time. And it turned out to be a great move because prices continued to decline in February and have been down even further since then. So now looking back on it, and especially somebody who was new to the stream, I guess yesterday, was talking about this, they made some comment like, "You dumped on your viewers. How dare you? You sold Dogecoin." And I'm just like, man, I can't win. I can't win. It's just like, oh, whatever. Actually, I am winning because I did take profits. I told everybody I was going to take profits. I told you back in November, right? Take profits. And I actually took my first slice of Doge profit at 42 cents back in November. I told you what I was doing, and I did it. Dumping on my viewers. Oh my God. It's the funniest thing. The funniest thing. And it's just like, and now I've told you I am trading because I believe this whole cycle is not over yet. The cycle is not over yet. So I continue to trade. I continue to buy. I continue to make money because that's what this is about, investing and making money. So I tell you guys what I'm doing. If you were here on the live stream on Sunday, I told you Monday morning, I have a plan. There's going to be high volatility when the stock market opens. I'm expecting to see an immediate dump. Even after pre-market's going to do its thing, there's going to be a dump and there's going to be a big recovery. I said that yesterday during the live stream. And then this morning in my video, I showed you the Robinhood chart on Yahoo. I said, this is where Robinhood is now. This is what I'm going to be buying. I said that in this morning's video. I'm buying Robinhood stock and I'm going to swing trade it. And then an hour later, I executed that plan and made a lot of money. I don't know what else I can do. I'm just like, I guess I can't please everybody, right? And there's going to be some bears who are just going to be bears. They're bitter at themselves and they just want to lash out at me. But hey, you know, it is what it is. I will continue to make calls. I will continue to show the charts. And if support breaks, that's what it is. But let's listen to poor Kaleo. Kaleo is back. If you're a follower of Kaleo, you haven't heard from him a while. Here's what Kaleo says. I've always tried my hardest to be transparent with you all, as have I. Kaleo says, I took a break because I was down bad. I put my money where my mouth is. I was confident the bottom was in back in February, and I was wrong. Being humbled is never fun. So this is the other side of it, right? He was confident that post-inauguration in that first tariff dump, Kaleo called the bottom on crypto. And he went in with his money. If there's one thing I've learned from being in this space long enough, though, it usually sucks the most before it's the best. I'm sharing this because I know a ton of y'all are in the same boat as I am. Taking a break and resetting can be healthy. I refuse to be shaken out at the bottom. Let's run it back turbo. So that's what Kaleo did. It's tough. It's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, we come out on the charts and we look at what was going on. Let me do the month or the daily, I mean, and just make them smaller like this, right? We saw what was happening. We saw the big run up happening pre-Trump inauguration. Dogecoin went up to over 40 cents. And then we had that epic January 17th launch of the Trump token, right? We had that Saturday that dumped, and then the Sunday dumped even more. So that's what was happening with that. Now, did we know that we were going to turn back around or not, and what was going to happen? Kind of chopped sideways for a week, started to break down again, and then the tariff news. And that red circle right there is where I sold the rest of my crypto that I was aiming to sell for profit. It still had not hit, at least Dogecoin was just hitting my support line right there. That white dashed line was support at that time. That was 30 cents support. It broke that support. We tried to find the next support line, 25 cents. It was trading right around it through most of February, and then it broke that. We tried to find the next support line. What was it going to be? 20? Were we going to hold 20 cents? And again, this is how the markets overreacted again and again and again. We tried charting once we got down into the teens, right? Like, how is this thing going to play out? And I was like, okay, we're looking back at where Doge traded before. We're trying to get an idea of support resistance back in October. That was that 16-cent line. This is this heavy red dashed line, 16-cent Doge. We did momentarily break that about a month ago, but all of crypto did that. It wasn't just Dogecoin. So when we zoom in and we look at March 10th, March 11th, Doge came down to 14.3. Today, dropped even further. Support broken again. But you can look at any crypto, just about ETH. On the 11th, it hit 1754. This morning, 1410. Solana, back on March 11th, was 112. This morning, it dumped all the way to $95. $95. ADA, like I said, well, ADA did drop further, 64 to 51. I take that back. ADA did drop further. And Litecoin had hit 83. Somebody bought yesterday, and they said they bought Litecoin down here at like 72, 71. It actually broke down to $63. So again, support was broken. Everyone who was looking at these charts was like, you find support until support's broken. And it has been broken again and again and again. There's no technical analysis that's going to overcome the news, or in this case, the fear of something that might happen. It might not. That's what happened. Yeah, Nigel, there's a lot of people sitting on coins at high prices. And that happens in a bull market. And in your case, it was from 4 years ago, bull market. You've been holding that ADA for a long time. So, yeah, how about XRP? Well, XRP was at $1.89 back on 11 March. This morning, it dropped $1.61. $1.61. See, it doesn't matter, analog, what the next support is for Doge. It doesn't matter. It's just a line on a chart. Doesn't matter. I can go back and I can look at all kinds of support lines over here at 12 cents, at 10 cents. There's support lines. 12 cents. 12 cents is actually a pretty good one right there. 12-cent Doge. But again, that was 9 months ago trading. And then you can snap fib lines. You can look at RSIs, stock RSI, like all that stuff. Yeah, Johnny, I agree. It's just kind of irrelevant. Support broken. Broke again, broke again, broke. I mean, these are all legitimate support lines. Broke, 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 and then today broke again. Is this a bear market? A lot of people are calling for it. Bear market. I say bearish. I've been saying bearish for 3 months now. I started saying that in February, went into March, now into April. Bearish. Yep. Bitcoin has not fallen below its 2021 high. Has not fallen below it. Can take that off. There's its 2021 high, 69K. We created this purple box, the bottom of which is 69K. And we momentarily dipped into the purple box this morning. First time Bitcoin has been in this box. But it didn't drop below. So according to the Bitcoin chart, KrissPax says we are not in a bear market. We are not in a bear market. Somebody asked me, when are we going to be in a bear market? I say, if we break 69K on Bitcoin, I will say we're in a bear market. We're not. This has all been Trump fear is what this has been. Trump fear. If we would just let it play out, see what happens to the economy instead of guessing. Which is why I continue to say in the fall, the markets are going to go crazy. We are going to see all the bulls will be back. And I'm saying this on a day of capitulation when we've seen support break for the umpteenth time. So convinced am I that in the fall, it's going to be good times again. And it's hard to see that now. But I've been saying that since January. In fact, if you look at my January 1st Dogecoin price prediction, when did I say the big run on Dogecoin is going to happen? It wasn't February, it wasn't March, it wasn't April. No, it was October and November. Because I could see what was going on even then, that there'd be some Trump push, but there's nothing happening on Doge, not specifically, no big catalyst in this spring that's going to get Doge moving. It's probably going to be the fall. So I put the stuff out there. You can argue with me if you want. I'd love to hear your thoughts. We can talk about Bollinger Bands, right? Bollinger Bands, signal, imminent rebound for Dogecoin. You can trade Bollinger Bands. I've tried. Yeah, I'm not going to listen to Trump right now, Denise. But thanks for letting me know. It's because it's more of the same. But I think he's with Netanyahu right now, so it's more about Israel. And so I'm just going to skip that. Unless you guys really want to hear what Trump says while you're here, let me know. So Doge has technical signals that hint at a recovery, but Harry, I told you to buy Hawk Tua. A-Star, it's not about Dogecoin. It's about Bitcoin. Bitcoin determines whether we're in a bear market or not Doge. Not any other crypto, but Bitcoin. Doge just follows along. So we can talk Bollinger Bands if you want. We can look at them, but Is Dogecoin the best meme coin to buy as it's predicted to reach $1 in 2025? Well, you can guess where this thing is going, right? It's going to talk about dips. It's going to talk about low prices. And then it's going to say, but $1 target remains ambitious. Dogecoin has surprised the market before with a solid community, strong brand recognition, the occasional meme boost from one Elon Musk. Doge continues to hold its ground. The path to $1 might not be straight, but if market conditions stabilize and bullish momentum returns, the question may not be if Dogecoin can hit $1, but when. But when. Not if, but when. So that's what we got going on. Market is stabilizing. Bitcoin's up to 78,700. It's going to reclaim 80. Doge is going to reclaim 15 cents. Some are going to say, oh, 15 cents. It's down 50% from when you sold. And I'll be like, yeah, and it'll go back up for all the reasons I just told you. Didn't stop me from buying, though, this morning, more Dogecoin. And I will continue to buy on dips. Did I get the bottom? No. And I told you I wasn't going to hit the bottom. I needed confirmation, but I was also invested in this other trade that I did on the Robinhood stock, made a lot of money, and then put some of that into Doge, put the other into Megal, and now I'm good. Let's go from here. I need to make the shocking faces on YouTube thumbnails. That Kriss is not going to do. When Doge hits $1, I'll put the open-mouthed thumbnail, right? I'll do that then. But until then, it means nothing. It means nothing. Shaj got some low 13-cent Doge. Takes a couple cycles to get the confidence to buy and crashes. Yeah, it takes one cycle, and then the second cycle, once you survive the first cycle, that's the way I see it. You're in the second cycle. You bought it $1.37? I got $1.29. I'm new. Earlier this morning, I got $1.29 Megal. So, yep, that is just swing trade waiting to happen. at $1.29. I bought this morning Stellar and Doge. You hold 35,000 each. That's it. Buying when there's fear in the market, right? Still believe that the Dogecoin will get to $1 to $3, Mike? Elliot says, I think the trick is don't aim too low with buys, Will, and don't aim too high to sell. Small, consistent profits. That's what I did. If I had held on to that Robinhood trade for another hour, I could have made a few more $1,000. I took the profit, and I'm already making money on Dogecoin by buying down here. Otherwise, I would have been buying Doge up here. So that ended up being okay. Booked the profit on the stock, didn't know what the stock market was going to do, but had confidence to buy Doge. Harry has put a 69% tariff on everybody in the chat until we get 100 likes. We've got 54 likes. So Harry, your 69% tariff threat is alive and well because we don't have enough likes. Nowhere near enough likes. Nigel loves the flash crashes. Don't tell Pax Cat that it's a dead cat market. He doesn't like that term. Pax Cat doesn't like that. No dead cat. And Johnny, yeah, especially when there's no real support anywhere in this area. It's been a year plus since that support has been touched. Well, about 8-9 months. People want to sell, they'll sell, support or not. And boy, did we have a lot of selling overnight. Look at all these big red candles. Just fear, sell, sell, sell. But look, it got eaten up. And as I call it, from the bottom up to the top this morning at 18%. Right there. That would have been a heck of a swing trade, right? If you were up in the middle of the night buying Dogecoin down at here at 13 cents. Doge will be fine. Maybe that was it. Is the bottom in? That's the question. Was that the final capitulation there early this morning, Doge at 13 cents? That is the bottom in. Was that the bottom? Was Bitcoin coming down and hitting, what did it hit at its bottom? 74.4? 74.4. Was that the bottom on Bitcoin? The bottom, is that in now? And ETH finally, has ETH finally seen its bottom at 1410? That was huge selling of ETH early this morning. And of course, when you look at the ETH Bitcoin trading pair, oh man, I continue to be astounded by how far down it goes. And it just keeps dropping. And this morning, huge drop, ETH versus Bitcoin. It's down below 0.02, which I don't think has it ever been that low? Has it ever been that low? I don't know. It won't let me go back further. Oh, I got to change my timeline. I get it. Yes, it was last 0.02 in February of 2020. 5 years ago. This is where ETH was versus Bitcoin 5 years ago. So, yeah, if you bought any ETH over the last 4.5 years, you would have been better off buying Bitcoin. That's crazy. ETH versus Bitcoin just continuing to drop. Now, how does the Doge Bitcoin pair look like? It's back below 02. It's at 18.8. That's pretty low. But it was just at this level October of 2024. So not as bad as ETH versus Bitcoin. So it's 14.4. This new red dotted line is that's local support now. 14.4. Again, we're just drawing lines, seeing where it's traded before. This morning I showed the heat maps on the in my video this morning. You can see all of the leverage that got wiped out overnight with those big dips. There was a lot of that. A lot of leverage got wiped out. A-Star buying dividend stocks. You know, it's probably a good idea to have some of your portfolio in some nice performing stocks. Get a little dividend action out of it. Not bad. Thank you, Harry. Bears should remember, but they don't. They just lash out. Most of it, Harry, is just people who are insecure with themselves. And instead of taking the blame themselves and looking in at themselves of why they made a trade, they would rather take it out on somebody else. So here I am. Hey, Lorenzo says, just buy more, keep buying. If you don't need the money now, buy some more. And Bruce, that's true. It takes money to make money. I mean, you can make little bits with little money, but if you want to make the bigger, and that's the story I told on the members only live stream, was in order to get where I wanted financially, I needed to take a bigger risk and put more money in. The herd keeps giving. I mean, who was selling? Who was doing all of this selling of Doge that hadn't previously sold on all these other dips? And then why is it when it dipped below 14 cents, then they decide to sell? It's like, who's selling then? Because you didn't sell on these other dips, but now it gets down this low and then you start selling? That doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense at all. Hey, JR, you just want to call them tokens and not shares when you're talking about crypto. Shares are stocks, but you're in at $1.70 on XRP and you're going to swing trade it. Well, it's looking good so far. From $1.70 where you bought in, that would have been 4 o'clock this morning. You were up early. If you got it right at $1.70. And right now you're up about 11% on the swing trade. Not a bad trade. You're probably looking for a little more though, because you're still holding. You had a chance here this morning. It went up to $2. Chad, you're right. To be honest, this cycle sucks. It's not how anybody predicted it playing out. Nobody predicted this. Nobody. Nobody. A-Star says, I really hope it was the bottom. Negotiations will start with Trump admin, other countries. Trump next week will announce he wants to invade Greenland or something. That's all noise. That's all just noise. Ryan, you want to see Dogecoin hit 13 again? So you can buy more, right? Raul reminds everybody to like and subscribe. Still don't have 100 likes. I mean, Harry's going to whip out that 69% tariff stick and start beating people. Start beating people, Harry. I'm not getting the likes. I guess you guys just, if numbers don't go up, you don't like any YouTube live streams. Matafalca's buying a little Bitcoin every Sunday. Weather Girl has already smashed the like button. So wants to negotiate that zero tariff with you, Harry? And Bruce. Oh, Harry, you already gave Bruce and Monica no tariffs. Hi, Zach. Under 10 cents next week. Everybody take a snapshot of this. Everybody take a snapshot. Zach is calling for sub 10 cent Dogecoin for next week. Sub 10 cent Dogecoin. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan, you're really good at taking names and remembering this stuff. So I count on you for this. Thank you, Ryan. Dennis says the reversal will be glorious, and I'm saying it's not going to be anytime soon. Accountability, yeah. Thor asked, do you think we've bottomed? That 13-cent dip is looking like a bottom to me. Harry, instructions unclear. I thought you said to buy socks. Socks! That's awesome. Yes, everybody buy socks. You got to keep your feet warm. Buy socks. Switch, I think the Doge ETF, when it's announced, it'll get a little pump, but then Doge will become more, the trading will become more like whatever is happening with the stock market. Because we've seen with Bitcoin and with ETH, when the markets are bad, people sell their ETFs. When the markets are good, they buy the ETFs. It has nothing to do with Dogecoin itself. So negative financial consequences, that's only market dependent, market driven. So if the market goes down, ETFs sell. That's what we've seen. Craig is also another 10 center here, Ryan. We have another 10 center with Craig. We have someone who did sell their Doge. There is a lot of bot trading that goes on, but that was not trading. That was dumping. That was just a big dump from 14.20 all the way down to 13 cents. That'd be a lot of bot dumping going on. Nope, haven't heard from Greg, Harry. It's been about a week. He said he was working on something, but I don't know what it was. Middle of the night is Chinese market. Asian market, you can say. The Koreans like to trade big time. I bought their dips this morning, got some 13-cent Doge added to the bag. Nice. Boss holding long time. Some idiot wants to buy Doge at 90 cents. I think you forgot a zero because I'm sure you meant 0.09. I think that's what you meant. I don't think you want to be buying Doge at 90 cents right now. Blue saying 8 cents. Can I hear 7? Anybody got a 7? Who's got a 7? Do I honestly think we'll see 7 or 8 cents again? Nope, I don't. Boss bought in 13 cents. Carolina, it's on the Zach train. Buy bonds. Buy bonds. Market manipulation, yes, big time. Taking out leverage. There's so many shorts to take out, though. Why don't they have a big short squeeze? Christian still hanging out in South America. Hope everything's well down there. Simon thinks more capitulation down to 12.4. Ryan, got another one to take a picture of. He's the guy who likes to say, I told you so. Christoph, Doge is done for the cycle. Wow. Giving up on Doge. I bought socks by mistake. Warm feet, but now I'm broke. I know you're missing the market dumps. That's what happens sometimes when you're away. Oh, we're just going to skip all the way down to 4 cents now. What happened to 9? Discounts everywhere. Bruce, if it goes to 7, I'm taking an equity line of credit. Weather girl, nope. The two of you are hilarious. Nope. Jason, maybe 1 Doge, right? At 90 cents. Buy 1. Daniel, buying bonds? I don't know what the average Doge received was, Nathan. I don't know. That'd be a really complicated formula to do, and I don't know. I don't mind the low predictions, Francisco. Just tell me why you think that is, but nobody ever does. It's, again, 1 or 2 over the past 3 months has actually said something that made sense about why you think Doge is going to go so much lower. Most people just like to throw numbers out there. I'm doing okay. I survived the Minecraft movie last night. Actually, it was kind of fun because we were in a full theater and it was a very talkative, loud crowd. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, these people are going to talk all the way through the movie. Oh, they were hooting and hollering and they were yelling out some of the words and phrases like they'd already seen the movie like all weekend long. And they were seeing it again. It was wild. I haven't been to a movie like that in a long time, where the crowd is into the movie. They're applauding all the great scenes. And I was like, wow, So that was fun to see in that environment. If I had just seen it like on Netflix by myself, it would have been so dumb. But seeing it at a movie theater like that, it was entertaining. I'll leave it at that. It was entertaining. The songs were horrible. They tried to make these musical bits, and it was just I just held my head in my hands when those things came on. It was just like, oh, so bad. But it was a fun movie. I'll give it that. You got some Doge at 14.2. Low boy got some at 13.49. You had another order at 13, but that didn't fill. You're looking at an ABCD pattern, 16.9, 13, 15.4, 12.4. ABCD pattern. Okay, Simon, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Now, this is worth taking a look at. 16.9. So, I mean, that'd be in the middle of this red can. Oh, we can do it from here, right? Last time it hit 16.9. Yeah, we'll probably have to come down to the 2 hour. Zoom in a little more. Yeah, so 16.9. Guess it hit it there. So there's 16.9. 13. That's what we just hit. Okay. And then the next was going to be 15.4. And then 12.4. And I don't know where 12.4 comes from or how far out it's going to be. So this is what your pattern's going to be. You know, there's nothing that says that can happen, but I don't know what that's based on, Simon. Again, it says in head, this 12.4 is a price that hasn't been seen since early October or late September last year. So I don't know what 12.4 means. Is there some percentage to this? Because this is what you're saying, right? Could. But I don't know. We'll watch it. AB equals C and BC equals D. Wait for the fall. Crypto will do another pump. That's what I've been saying. ChatGPT says if you're looking for a fun, small speculative play and you're okay with the risk of it crashing to 5 cents, Doge at 14 could be worth a small punt. Oh, ChatGPT is starting to sound more like Grok. You're not transferring back to USDC. So this would be on Coinbase, I guess. Yeah, I've only changed US dollars to USDC. I guess I've sold Doge to USDC before on Coinbase. I think I did that a couple times because I just wanted it to be in USDC in order to get that interest. But it never broke it up like that. But these were just sells, not transfers. Matt still thinks the Bitcoin reserve takeoff is coming. If you sold, you would have made over 100,000 profit in 42 cents. But your short-term capital gains, you would have had to be paying next week. It'd be due. I'd rather pay the tax on the $100,000 profit. I'd rather take that profit and pay the tax. But I understand. If you can hold longer, maybe get a better price, and it's a long-term capital gains instead of a short-term, you get to keep more of it. So there's always that. I did go to an AMC theater, Lowboy. Yes, we went to AMC to see the movie, supporting AMC. And then the AMC stock went up today, so it must have been because I bought movie tickets. The movie overall, Ryan, I will say it's entertaining. In a movie theater, it's entertaining with a bunch of people who are interacting with the movie and having a good time. That's the only thing that made it for me. Yes, a full theater for Minecraft, mostly in the 13 to 15 year age range. I was there with my son, longtime Minecraft fan. Part of the reason for watching it was kind of nostalgia. I wasn't able to buy the tickets with Dogecoin, Weather Girl. I tried. There was something that happened. I couldn't get it to go. And then it was asking me to verify my ID on AMC, and I couldn't get that to work because I hadn't bought an AMC ticket in a while. And I ended up having to contact customer support, and they told me to log in incognito. It was dumb. It was just dumb. So I ended up not actually buying the tickets using Dogecoin. MB, kind of dumb. Yeah. That's what I was doing. Some is best. During many parts of the movie, I was holding my head in my hands, particularly the songs. They were so bad. So bad. There were a few good previews. Obviously, the Superman preview with Crypto the dog. Got to see that. That was good. But another Karate Kid, so many years later, Karate Kid Legends. Jurassic World. Gotta go back there again. I don't know. It'd be nice to see something original. But nothing was original. No preview was original. Everyone was a remake. From Lilo and Stitch to the Smurfs, Superman, Jurassic World, Karate Kid, Mission Impossible. There wasn't one original movie in any of the previews we saw. Not one. They were all remakes or new additions. Very sad, actually. Very sad. Oh, you're welcome, Glittery. You much prefer the TGIF pattern. I know, Ryan, right? ABCD, who wants that? TGIF? No, we're talking. Oh, you're looking at the fib lines. Oh, you're snapping some fib lines. I do it without the fib lines. Oh. Rob was waiting to buy back in at 12 cents. Jason's looking at the Mortal Kombat blood code on Sega Genesis. Yes, totally. The Chicken Rider. I was like, what the hell is that? My son's saying, oh yeah, that's a thing. I'm just like, no way. Yeah, they're going crazy. I was just like, oh man. Yep. Buy tickets with bonds? No. There were a few woke moments, cyber shots. There was a couple. It was not huge, but there were a couple things in there that were just like kind of woke. Yeah. Yeah. Kids definitely have a different sense of humor. No, I didn't sneak a Modelo in. Oh. Lava Chicken, best part of the movie. There were some cool things. There were definitely some cool things in the movie that I enjoyed. Most of it, they ran out of ideas. Exactly. They're all reruns, rehashes. It's more of the same. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, hanging onto airplanes and running. It's like, I have seen that like 6 times. Do I really need to see it a 7th? And Superman, it's like, we got another actor redoing Superman, Lois Lane, all of that again. We got to do that again. Yeah, Disney, I don't know. I mean, they'll probably make some money on a few other movies, but yeah, they need to get out of the live action remake stuff. Yeah, maybe come up with some new stuff. I agree. You should have watched Snow White. I hear it's really good. From the first moment I heard they were making that, I was like, nope. Nope. Not doing that. Not doing that. Why is this all messed up? Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, no, there we go. What's Bitcoin doing? 78.4. Yeah, it's still just hanging out. You had SPX calls, went from $10 to $2,000. Yeah, I just did a straight spot swing trade on Robinhood, made $3,500, booked it. I could have made maybe 10,000 if I'd held for another hour. Didn't know what this market was going to do this morning, but I sold it and I got some Dogecoin right down here, like 1404, 1403, right in there. So got some of that low 14 Dogecoin. So I feel good about that. Chicken jockey. That's why they don't make many movies about the moon. It looks too real. People start asking questions. Dow ended up down 349. Yeah, down 0.9. But from where it was earlier, when it was way down, that's not bad. NASDAQ ended up. Not bad for a Black Monday, huh? NASDAQ ended in the green. S&P 500 ended in the green. Not bad for Black Monday. Gold ended up down below 3,000. Look at gold selling off. Why do you guys think gold was selling off? That's quite surprising, actually. You'd think with all the fear going on, gold would go up. It went down. Interesting. DXY recovering. So dollar going up, but not gold. Interesting. Kind of all over the place. Kind of all over the place. The credits were the best part of the movie. And of course, during the credits, right, I wanted to see who the actors were, and everybody's sitting around, everyone's staying, and I'm like, oh, there must be a little surprise at the end, because all these people would not be sitting here unless there's something at the end. And there was. So if you go watch Minecraft, stay through the credits and watch the little end thing. Howard the Duck. Adam, most people here do not know who Howard the Duck was. Not going to happen. I know, right? They were predicting Black Monday, but then we got the anti-Kramer, right? No Black Monday. Everything's okay. The world is going to live. Hey, Sergio, I'm doing great. How are you? How are you? More tariffs on China on the 9th? Yeah, but I think the big news is kind of behind us now. So I think it'll be little stuff. Doug, you got some app-loving shares? Good luck with that. I don't know. App-loving. Was up, Milkman? People selling gold in order to buy Doge? Not a bad trade. Gold was up at all-time highs. Why not? Tired of the post-credit scenes? Yeah. They think they're being cute. I don't know. Put a little extra something right at the end. Because, I mean, you really want to sit through like thousands of names for the CG artists and the digital artists. Literally, thousands of people worked on this movie. And they were all CG digital artists. Just names upon names upon names. I was like, oh my God. Thousands of names. Because the whole movie was green screen, just about. Except for some live set stuff. Not much. Most of it was all green screen. Well done. Yes. But yeah. Was Howard the Duck the first Marvel movie? Was Howard the Duck the first? I'm going to say no to that. Just doesn't sound right. Was Howard Duck? This is the thing. I mean, automatically, I'm typing in Google and it comes up. Was Howard the Duck the first Marvel movie? What? George Lucas loved the comics, but the movie crashed and burned. 1986 infamous Howard the Duck is the first Marvel project created specifically for the big screen. So technically, I guess the answer is yes. How is Howard the Duck related to Marvel? Howard the Duck never wanted to be a hero, but after falling into the Marvel universe, Howard Duckson found himself fighting alongside Marvel's finest heroes. Oh my God. Well, there you go. Howard the Duck. Never thought I'd be talking about that on a Dogecoin live stream. The Trump collector token, I know. $7. $7 for Trump collectibles. You can almost buy 5 of them for the price I paid for one. It's almost just a comedy now. Trump. Tom Crown looked at the Trump chart today. And you know what he said? He said, can we call this a rug pull? And he's not wrong. Look at that. That's what the Trump chart looks like. It's all-time chart. Can we call that a rug pull? Craig, you're admitting it. You're actually admitting it. I bought at 34 on the dip. On the dip. And that was right. Yeah, it was right in there. 34. It kept dipping and dipping and dipping. Maybe on this little run up to 24, when it was down here at 15, that should have been a sign, right? To just take the L. Nope. Down, 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 down. And then what does our First Lady Melania's token look like? It's probably just as bad, huh? Oh, worse. 54 cents. From a high of $13 to 54 cents for Melania. Wow. Yeah, so we won't talk about that. I do not buy any Melania tokens. Doge trying to make a run for 15 cents, guys. Orange Monday. Dogecoin. A-Star, I don't think so. I think this was the big event. We just had it over the weekend leading up to this morning. I don't think we're going to have another huge capitulation thing between USA and China. Is it already priced in by now? What's a Howard the Duck? Oh my. Exactly. Oh my. It wasn't good. People sell gold to offset their losses in the stock market. They're just hedging, right? So when the stock market turned around today and started going up, there was gold selling going on. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. But it was a crazy day in the stock market. Just last night, the overnight, and then pre-market, everything was down 10, 15%. And a lot of stocks ended in the green, right? Crazy day in the stock market today, Isaac says. When the 90-day rumor came out, yeah, I talked about that earlier in that, I mean, if I had stayed in that Robinhood trade, I'd have made a lot more money. But you don't know these things. You don't know. I took my profit, what I had. We don't know when Elon is going to leave Department of Government Efficiency. I think he's going to stick around for a little while longer. And then it's all going to be, I mean, I hope they market it right and they broadcast it right, that even if Elon is not going to be directly involved anymore, Doge still goes on, and it's going to be up to, all of the cabinet members to make sure that all of their respective departments are all continuing the battle against waste, fraud, and abuse. And if that's the message that gets out there and they continue to pound away at the excess so that we can get a balanced budget, then it's a good thing. But half of the country isn't going to see it that way. I know, Leah Thompson, DB. Of all actresses, it had to be Leah Thompson. She was the thing back in the 1980s, was Leah Thompson. She was the thing. For those that don't know and really need to be shown this, I will show you. Leah Thompson. Oh, man. There we go. Howard the Duck and Leah Thompson. And then she did this crazy thing with her hair. But Howard the Duck and Leah Thompson. And then, of course, there was Ryan. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Yep. They're in bed together. Howard the Duck and Leah Thompson. Some things you just can't make up. Oh, yeah, Leah was great in Back to the Future. There was just no Howard the Duck there. Oh. You're going to buy some Trump collectibles at a penny? Splitting my Doge profits between Trump and the Hawk Duo token. Yeah. Oh, God. Hey, it's got to go back up eventually. I wouldn't be waiting on Trump going up to all-time high. Quackers. Anthony, been averaging down, buying dips. Nice. Official NCT, trying to DCA on dips. Adam, what is this? Speculation, but we might see gold skyrocket due to reclassifying the worth so the U.S. can pay off its debt with the gold in Fort Knox. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Gold is worldwide. It's traded worldwide. I don't see that happening. Yes, RR, I know. A balanced budget is probably not in the cards, but getting close. Jadrenko. Not happy with you, man. Not happy with you. Let's try and keep it real, dude, okay? Not happy with you. Dogecoin going down pretty far. You're not worried. Still thinking we're in a bull market or a mini bear? Mini bear? We call it mini bear. I said bearish for months, but overall, still, it's Bitcoin. It's all tied to Bitcoin. I was so jealous of that duck. I am not going to take my time to watch the Howard the Duck movie again. No. Around town, yep, quite a weekend. Well, thank you. Trump combustibles. Exactly. X payments. It'd be nice to see X money really launch. And right, as Craig says, April isn't over yet. We don't know. I did say 20 to 21. I gave it a range, not exactly 21 cents. Splitting feathers. No, don't see that happening. Massive inflation of the dollar. Don't see that happening. They're not going to buy their way out of it. That's not the intent. That's what previous administration tried to do. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how many Doge I bought, Yuli, at what price. Getting close to load up time. JS still confident, going to go back up and beyond all-time high. Yeah. And April is not over yet. Still down. I get that. Jasmine, no. $1.80. No. Back under a penny. Jasmine. $2025 is the year. 2026, back to bear market. You would think that would happen, and that's still what I'm guessing at, but 4-year cycles, are they going to continue as there's more alignment between crypto and the stock markets? Well, we finally made it over 100 likes, so thank you, everybody. Subscriptions, getting close to 19,000 subs. I need 20 more people to subscribe. Can we get 20 of you who haven't subscribed yet to subscribe? I usually don't ask this, but to get to 19K, then only 1,000 more and I'll be at 20. That'd be nice. I usually don't ask. Selling to come into BTC. Daniel thinks May is going to be the big month. Then consolidate through the summer. October all-time high. The inverse Kramer in crypto. Republicans are going to want to kickstart the economy to avoid losing the midterms. One way of doing that, start up the money printers. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that, though. They want this plan to work. They want this plan to work. The Fed's going to do what the Fed's going to do. I think it's going to be on the back of tax cuts. It's going to be the big tax cuts. Particularly if they eliminate taxes for everyone under 100K or 150K. You talk about buying votes. You talk about buying votes, tax cuts. Jason, May 7th. May 7th, the day before the Saturday Night Live May 8th show. Just to make sure you get the date right. April showers bring May flowers. I've heard that before. It has rained every day so far this month here in Boston, except for one. And it's raining right now. We looked at the Onyx coin last month when it was going crazy. I haven't looked at it since. I'm guessing it's down. Haven't looked at it. Yeah, this big run. I guess that was January. Yeah, we haven't looked at it since January because it just fell off the table. So from its peak, we can play this game, right? From its peak, it is down 82%. That's why nobody's talking about Onyx right now. Down 82%. Now we can say year to date, and we go back to January 1st, and it's actually up 270% year to date. But nobody was buying it on January 1st. Everybody was buying it up here at 2, 3, up at 4 cents. And now it's back down below a penny. That's typically how these things work. So yeah, that's pretty tough. But yeah, January, everyone was talking about this coin. Those that didn't take profits up here, bag holding, could be for a while. Jasmy hasn't looked much better. Except from the start of the year, Jasmy was already up at 4 cents. Right? Well, on January 1st, it was down here. So year to date, Jasmy down 70%. From the high, which was back here early December, youch, 83% down. So yeah, what was your percentage? I missed the percentage sign. 1.8%. On the day, it's up 5%. Jasmy is. So good trading for the day. Still has to break over a penny. Touched it this morning. Yeah, we're getting good trading in crypto right now. Doge, 15 cents. There it is. And we get a dancing Doge there too. 15-cent Dogecoin.
All eyes on Doge. Big runner. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big runner. To the moon. Keep going out. Going out. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge.
And there it is. 15-cent Dogecoin. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, $14.99. It was short-lived. Did Bitcoin have its death cross? Yes, it did. As predicted, Sunday night, Bitcoin got its death cross right there. As predicted, death cross happened. But when it actually logged, the price of Bitcoin was at 78.4. It was at the bottom of this red candle. So 78.4. So Bitcoin is actually up now since the death cross. So much for the death cross. It happened. We move on. And we see whether this ABCD pattern is going to play out. But in the short term, we're going up. Hey, Braden, how are you? Isaac reminds people also to subscribe. Appreciate it. Raiden, subscribe. Thank you for the super chat. Subscribe. Ask the cats to subscribe. Oh, absolutely. I mean, because KrissPax is, or Pax Cat is a star here. Every once in a while, he comes in, makes an appearance. You don't get that on any YouTube channel. The late crew. Ban. Yeah, tax cuts. That's what I think that's going to be. It's going to be tax cuts. Rate cuts might come. I mean, there's a lot of scuttlebutt going on about like emergency Fed meeting. Yeah, it's not going to be an emergency. Let's see what the odds are right now, right? Last I saw it was like 40% that we'd have a rate cut now in May. CME Fed Watch Tool. Yeah, last I saw was like up to 40%. Oh, it dropped to 29. It dropped to 29. Interesting. Well, we'll see. It's May 7th. We got a ways to go. But yeah, 29. It was up here at 43 this morning. I guess because the stock market recovered and we didn't have a Black Monday. Black Monday. It's like, God, really? Crypto analyst predicts breakout for Dogecoin. If history repeats itself, similar bullish pattern spotted. Doge big dips lead to big green candles. $2.10. Thank you, Frank. That wasn't me. It was one of these guys, right? It was one of these guys. Prediction. Tax cuts on American made only. Crypto exchanges. We'll see. I don't think we're going to see stimmy checks, RR. Not in America. We're not going to see stimmy checks. Tax cuts. I'm on board for the big boy tax removal, especially crypto. Oh, if they eliminate capital gains tax on crypto, that saves me a lot of money. Yes, rain. I'm going to Florida, though, on Wednesday. I'm going down for a conference. So I'm going to get some sunshine in Tampa Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there'll be no live streams Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, guys. I'll bring my laptop with me and probably get a video in. But that's about it. No live streams Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have a bull flag. Playoff time. Yeah, it's coming, Aaron. The Cavs are, I don't know, maybe fading a little bit at the end of the season while the Celtics are like just demolishing opponents. But it's going to be Celtics and Cavs most likely in the East Finals. A members only MMA match. Pax Cat versus Snoopy. Anthony, you don't want me to talk about XRP. I've told the story many, many times. I just encourage you to do your research, particularly on what the max supply is and what the current circulating supply of XRP tokens are. And then if you can find their token release schedule, then maybe you might want to buy some XRP. But if you don't find an XRP token release schedule, you might want to think twice about buying more XRP. I'm just saying. Somebody's paying for all their attorneys, and it's not them. It's you. The greatest part of the crypto battle is the victory. The market will be back. We'll be in profits again, and we'll think back about all these days when prices were going down and how many of you were giving up. We're just waiting to see that, cyber shots. I mean, if we can hold over 15 cents, I think that would be a great recovery for Doge based on where it was this morning. That'd be nice. I know, right? We get happy at 15 cents. We've lowered our expectations quite a bit. We're celebrating 15-cent Dogecoin. Ah. You're watching the Kriss dance video. For the first time, you're thinking that the fellow isn't really dancing. Yeah. It ain't me. Kriss wants you to believe that it's AI. You have to make it look fake enough, right? That you think it's AI. The whales are buying. Oh, that'll be Ali's chart tomorrow. You can count on it. Ali's chart tomorrow is going to be the whales are buying Dogecoin. How possible no capital gains taxes? Depends on what's going to end up all in the Trump tax cuts. How far they're going to go. I've been hearing it talked about. General's right-hand commander of Doge and Sheeb. Welcome. Blessed and happy for the dip. Help me secure a better position. Nice. Beautiful down in Florida. That's what I hear. Maybe some rain tomorrow, but it'll be done by the time I get there Wednesday. Enjoy your time. Thank you, Doug. Of course, if the feds aren't taxing me, the state of Indiana will take more. Yep, and same in Massachusetts. They love their taxes. Love them. No live streams the rest of the week. I'll be here Tuesday for a live stream, but then that's it for the rest of the week on the lives for this week. I got to go do my architect thing at a conference. The Timberwolves, Ryan, really? Not Oklahoma City? Not Oklahoma City. The Timberwolves. This Wednesday through Friday, no live streams. That is correct. Raiden coin is at $14. Hello to Han Daniel's daughter. Hi. I'll be chilling in Florida because I'm going to be inside in a conference center. They'll probably have the air conditioning like cranked up. I'll be chilling, all right. That's good. I have one XRP token. Just so you get the notifications, right? I'm like your therapist. What about Bob? Yeah, I remember that movie. So Bill Murray, right? What about Bob? What I'm saying is you should sell all your Doge and buy XRP. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Tariff still in play. Yes, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as what we saw. I think it's going to start getting scaled down. I mean, how many times can you price in what might happen? Always. Something big is going to happen next 48 hours. That's what keeps us YouTubers going. It's got to be something big. Otherwise, these videos and streams would just be boring, right? Cotton Eye Doge. The whales, don't worry about it, Frank. The whales are long-term. All this talk about whales buying, selling, doing all that, most of them don't. Most of those big whale moves are just exchange transfers. They're not even whales. There could be dips through the summer, Elliot. We've seen them 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Most likely 2025, we will have big summertime dips. There are some states talking about removing income tax. Massachusetts is not one of them. Oh, the weather girl. Here's the weather. Wednesday, 78 and sunny. Thursday, 82 and sunny. Friday, 81 and sunny. Nice. I'll take that. It's going to be cold and wet in Boston. So, Chet Holmgren, right? Oklahoma City. I don't know. They're pretty good this year. Yeah. I wonder who's going to get the blame for not being here. It's all my fault. All my fault. Doge to the moon. Maybe sometime, John. Yes, experience is the best way to learn to trade crypto. Absolutely. Because then you're in the game and then you're out of the game and you have more attention to price action, price movement when you actually buy and sell. So yes, that is the best way to learn. Low boy going to be down in Orlando on Thursday. Yep, New York, cold and rainy, same as Boston. Nice time to go down to Florida. I was looking at the conference season and I was like, yeah, Florida, early April. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. A Burger King wearing Doge bling. Was that a thing? Burger King wearing Doge. Doge Whisperer. I went to Burger King in the Miami airport and they weren't accepting Dogecoin, but the nice guy that served me said that would be cool. Let's make it happen. But that's not a thing. That looks like AI to me. Somebody did that with AI. Not real. No. Yeah, no such thing. Raiden, you bought some more peak. You are just scooping up peak tokens, huh? Peak, peak, peak. So this morning it went down to 9.5 cents. $0.09 on the dip. Now up over 10 again. Doge trying to hold 15. $1.50 would be a swing trade. $1.29 to something over $1.50. That's my swing trade target. Sometimes Megal just starts running like totally unexpected out of the blue. And you could see it spike up to maybe $1.60, $1.70. I mean, that's what it did before the reverse split when I was buying it for, trying to remember, because it was a penny stock. Yeah, it was like 35 cents up to 70 cents, 60 cents, something like that. So very similar. Cybershot thinks 12-cent Dogecoin before GTA 6 comes out. And who knows when GTA 6 is actually going to come out. Patience, yes, always. Double barrel, buying crypto is unhealthy. Oh, that's right. You're in euros, Raiden. Yeah. Daniel's mathematic tutoring. You only have to put it in once. You don't have to repeat. $1.25 though. We'll see. All right, gang, that's what we've got. Hey, start a little early in order to get ahead of the game, and Doge is actually in the green now for the day, holding strong, despite all of the fears of Black Monday. Didn't happen. It didn't happen. So is the bottom in is the question. Was that the bottom there? 13-cent Doge. We'll see how that plays out. I hope everyone has a great Monday. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.